Okay, I think I've done all the small parts except for the pearl, the ornament on the head. So now let's do the head. We're going to start off by making a magic circle. We're going to do 8 single crochet into the magic circle. Okay, we have 8 single crochet here. Let's pull this tight. Now I'm gonna start by doing increase. You go to the first stitch. If you're not sure where's the first stitch, you can count back the V shape here. You can count all the way back here and you will find that this is the first stitch. I'm gonna do increase. Increase means 2 single crochet into the same stitch. So this is the time I'm gonna add my marker because it's going to go round and round and round. 1 increase, 2 increase, 3 increase, 4 increase, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we got 8 increase, which means I should have 16 stitches in this row. Next row I'm going to start with a single crochet. Followed by an increase. So you're gonna do single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, all in. You're gonna do 8 sets, and by the time you come back here you should have 24 stitches. Okay, next row, row 4, I'm going to start by making a single crochet. Followed by an increase. Increase means 2 single crochet into the same stitch. And the next one is a single crochet. So single, increase, single, that makes 1 set. So you're gonna make 8 sets, and by the time you come back here you should have 32 stitches, which also means that you should do like increase, like this is the increase. After the increase, just do 2 single crochet or single crochet in the next 2. So 2 increase, 2 increase, and by the time you come back here you should have 1 more left. We started with 1, so here 1, so become 2. So all in you get 32 stitches. Okay, next I'm going to go to row 5. Row 5, I'm going to do single crochet in the next 3 followed by an increase. So you just add a marker. 1, oops, 2, 3, and you do increase. You do 3 single crochet, increase, 3 single crochet, increase, all in you should have 8 sets, and by the time you come back here you should have 40 stitches. Okay, now next row, row 6, I'm going to do single crochet in the next 2, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, increase. After this increase, do single crochet in the next 2. So single crochet, increase, single crochet, single crochet. So this makes 1 set. You're gonna do 8 sets, and by the time you come back here, you should have 48 stitches. Okay, now from row 7 until row 14, you're gonna do single crochet all around. So you're gonna have 48 stitches in each row, from row 7 until row 14. Okay, now I'm going to sew the eye and the horn first before I continue. So the eye should be 5 rows down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, somewhere here, and 4 rows down, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 rows away, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it should be around here. So the eye is gonna be here. So I'm going to get the tail here. This is the tail. You make sure your eye faces the right way. This is the part where all the colors are, not the back. So here I'm gonna remove this and place my needle here and here to kind of lock it first. You lock it in like this, and I just make 1 stitch here just to hold it. I haven't started sewing yet, just to hold it so that I know the eye will be here, and the rest of this dangling, bring it inside. Just poke any hole here. Let's bring the yarn over. Make sure it's inside the eye. Make sure you pull it inside the eye. So you just grab a spot and pull it over. And you take a look and see, are you able to cover up the rest of it? Okay, so it's all inside. Same goes for here. You make sure you go through underneath the eye, not choose one here. It might show, so choose one which is under the eye, and just grab a yarn and bring it over. Oops. And you continue to bring the rest over. See if there's any more. Okay, as for this one, make sure it goes underneath here. Or maybe I should use the hole here to pull it over. Okay. So you take a look and see if you are very sure this is the spot, and all this just tie a knot. Then your eye is quite secure, and when you sew it's quite easy because like it feels like you have a pin to hold it down. So instead of using a pin, I just tie all this together. and leave all this tail inside the head. So once you tie, you see this is kind of secure, it's not going anywhere. So you start to sew. So I'm going to sew from here to here or here to here, up to you. So when you sew here, you make sure you only take the, oh, sorry, I took the wrong. Okay, so when you sew from here, oops, oh gosh, have to watch out for this because I have not finished crocheting, so make sure it does not tangle up with this yarn. But I should make it the other side, right, so that it won't tangle. It's okay, just be careful. So you make sure this yarn and this yarn do not get tangled. Hold it nicely, press it down. So when you make one stitch here, you make sure you do one stitch that is quite inside here maybe, and you take a strand of the darker color yarn, and you sew it all around. So that's how you sew it all around. And as for the other eye, it's 4 rows apart. 1, 2, 3, about here. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, about here. And you count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. You check and see whether is this the right spot, and you place your eye here, just like what I did just now. Grab your yarn, sew the 2 corners, hold it, then you start to sew the sides. And it's easier this way, right? So I'll come back to you once I have this nicely sewn. Okay, I have this sewn in nicely. I made a small mistake here. You see this stitch here, but it's okay because the eyebrow runs here. So any small mistake you do here, it's okay. You won't be able to see. But if you make some mistakes here, it'll be quite obvious because it's still, the moustache will cover half of it, so here. So no worry if you did the same mistake as me. Later on we're gonna sew this here and you won't be able to see anymore. So now before I add the eyelashes, let's add the horn. So since the eye is facing here, the horn should bend a bit. You just take a look which side bend more. And you just place it right on the magic circle. Or maybe later you can just shape it to make it bend. Let's just make a stitch here. Whoops. Let me just make one stitch here to hold it. Okay. Hold it nicely. I will sew one on the left and one on the right to hold it first. And take a look. I'm not adding any stuffing on the horn because at times I need to bend it to make it look like it the horn, it's kind of like bent towards the front. So you make 2 stitch, one on the left, one on the right, kind of hold it in place, take a look if everything is all right, and you hold it in place and just sew. One thing is because I have not add stuffing, so it's way easier to sew. Just pull it out from here, and you can just follow the line, follow this line here, and you won't go wrong. Just follow that circle. You can make some rough stitches here and there first, and later you make one more round. And make sure when you stitch, do not interfere with this. We have not finished with our crochet. Okay, so it's gonna look like this. So now if you want, you can make a few more stitches. I'll come back to you with the eyelashes. Okay, here it looks like one is longer and one is shorter. No problem, because later I'm gonna add the moustache and I'm gonna cover this part. So this is how it look like. Hopefully there's space for this ornament here later. And now I'm gonna assemble the ear. You follow this eyebrow, the ear, follow this eyebrow exactly right at the back of it. So here you check and see which is your front and which is your back. I will put the front here. I should put the front at the back. Or with my fluffy yarn, I don't think you can really see which is the front and the back, so it's alright. So you can just place it like this. So it's here, this spot here. You just make one stitch here. Oh, sorry. What am I doing? Oh gosh. So this should be here. You check and see which part of the fluffy is I mean, like this kind of chuck out, you can actually cut it away, or you can put it near here. So it should be here. You place a stitch, and here one more stitch since the ear is so small. Okay, you just place 2 stitch first and take a look and see. Okay, this is the right spot, and you start to sew. One on the ear and one on the head. Since the ear is pretty small, just 1 or 2 stitch will really hold it. Maybe I should make one more stitch from the back. You can go to the back. And make 1 stitch here. So to kind of hold it nicely. There you have the ear. And you can move. I mean, it's not that It's just a small ear, so you can actually move it about and it won't come off. So if you're worried that it will come off, we just make 2 more or 3 more stitches and you can tie a knot inside the head. That's why I like to sew before I add stuffing. Okay, pieces like this, you can actually use your needle to hide it inside. So we have one ear. Now to make the other ear, like this. Okay, now I'm going to do the pearl part here. So I have a packet of pearl that comes in 4 different sizes and 4 different shades of color. So I took out some and I'm going to use the glitter thread, the thread that I use for this. If you have glitter yarn, you can go ahead with glitter yarn. So I'm going to start off with the biggest pearl. I'm not going to go until the very end. I'm going to leave some tail here. And then I'm going to randomly pick up some of this small pearl. I would need about 6 of it. Just make sure it's of variety of color. 2, 4, 6. I don't really look at the size. So long as it's smaller than the middle one, it's okay. 2, 4, 6. Okay, I think I have about 6 of these. The end here, make sure you don't go to the far end. Leave some tail and you put through, go through it again, and this one will appear at the side here like this. So you can use 5 or 6 because I have some bigger one and smaller one, so you have a small gap there. Doesn't really matter. Get about 6 of it. And put through. And after you have put through, go through this hole again. So you have something like this. So this is optional. And sew it here. So this tail here, I'm gonna bring it over to the inside. Okay, just let me grab it over to the inside. So it's inside now. Okay. Hold this tail. And you just make one stitch here. Make make sure it's holding nicely. You tie a knot first. And now I'm going to sew this. You see this part here is kind of moving about, so I'm gonna just make one stitch here, to hold the pearl down, and you make one more stitch over to the other side. And you just stitch it here, so it kind of hold it down, and you have yourself a pearl like this. So which means this part here and this part here, I sew it down, and I sew this one down and this side down. So now you have a pearl, and the balance straight. You just cut it and tie a knot. Remember to tie a knot. And we can continue to crochet. I think I have assembled most of it. For the moustache and the teeth, I have to complete the whole thing first. So let's continue crochet. Okay, now we're gonna do decrease. This is row 15. I'm gonna start off by doing 2 single crochet, or should I say single crochet in the next 2. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet. Then after these 2 single crochet, I'm gonna do a 2 together. My invisible 2 together is gonna be, you just use a front loop and a front loop. You yarn over 2 by 2, and you're gonna do single crochet in the next 2. So single crochet, a 2 together, and single crochet, this makes 1 set. So you're gonna do 8 sets, and by the time you come back here you should have 40 stitches. Now row 16, we're gonna do 3 single crochet followed by a decrease, or 2 together, 3 single crochet, or should I say single crochet in the next 3. So this is 1, 2, 3, and you do a 2 together. Three single crochet, 2 together. This makes 1 set. So you're gonna make 8 sets, and by the time you come back here you should have 32 stitches. Okay, now row 17, I'm going to do 1 single crochet, followed by a 2 together, and 1 single crochet. 1 single crochet, 2 together, 1 single crochet, that makes 1 set. And by the time you come back here you should have 24 stitches, and you should have 8 sets. Okay, now row 18. Row 18, I'm going to do 1 single crochet followed by a 2 together, or you can call it a decrease. One single crochet, 2 together, you should have 8 sets, and by the time you come back here you should have 16 stitches. This is the time to add stuffing. plumb it up nicely. And now the last row, you just do 2 together all the way. You should have 8 sets of it. Hold the yarn, hold the filling down. Oops. Oops. If you want to add more filling now, you still can. The small hole here, but I think it's plumb enough. So let me cut the yarn. And I'm going to use a tapestry needle to seal it. Just put through all the back loop. Or the front loop. It doesn't really matter to me because once you pull, you're gonna seal. And this is the time you take a look and see if you have holes here. When you put your needle, you make sure this yarn follow the pattern behind. This is the time to fill up all these holes. So at least the holes won't be that obvious. And don't pull too tight. You just want it to look more like single crochet instead of sewing randomly. And there you see the holes are sealed. You can't really see much of the holes now. Because here when we do the 2 together, we kind of like pull a bit, so it kind of stretch out. So you will have tiny holes. So you just follow back the stitch and cover it, and that's it. And you can bring your yarn to just about anywhere. Make sure you follow the stitch and don't pull too tight. And the balance, you can just hide it inside. And now to assemble the mustache. Okay, now to assemble the mustache, you remember this is the narrow part, this is the broader part. The broader part goes under the eye, and tuck in all this tail when you sew, and sew this part first. I make one stitch here just to hold it. Make one stitch here. This narrow part here, it should stick with this eyebrow. So you're gonna start to sew from here to the other end and come back to this end under the eye. So I'll come back to you once I have all this nicely fastened. Now to add this in between here, between the eye. Make sure it faces the right way. Somewhere here. So since this is kinda narrow, you can actually bring your needle here, since it's red in color. You can sew it here. So I'll come back to you once I have this nicely fastened. It's kind of difficult to go on video. I need to see the small details here. I'll come back to you. And now the final part, the teeth. You have to make sure the teeth stays right in the middle here. Even though here earlier on might have sway one side, or so long you make sure the teeth is here, you just sew one stretch here. Just sew one stretch here, and this one just leave it. Then you can move the teeth. So you just make one stitch here. I think mine, this is too high. Let me get it inside here. Go all the way to the other side, just so that I can hold it in place. Make sure the teeth is at the center, and you start to make some stitches like this. Just stitch all the way. And I'll come back to you once I have this nicely stitched. Okay, this is the final product. This is how it look like. Which do you prefer, the red or the purple? You can actually turn this into keychain or even earring if you don't mind wearing big earrings like this. So do subscribe to my channel, stay tuned, and watch out for my next video and see what I'm going to do with these two lion head. Thank you for watching. See you in my next post.